Hola, welcome to Peruvian Eats. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Kelly, and today we're going to be cooking a classic Peruvian dish called ceviche. First we're going to be taking our main ingredient, which is 1 pound of cod, some lemon, lime, oregano, and salt. These ingredients were not introduced to Peru until the Spanish conquest in the 1500s. But the cod was always an indigenous ingredient of the Peruvians. So first we'll start off, we'll take 1 pound of this codfish and put it into a heavy-duty Ziploc bag. So we'll put it right in here, it's falling apart. And then Elizabeth will add our mixture, which is
a third cup of lime, a third cup of lemon juice, some oregano, and some salt. Let's add that right in to marinate the fish.
Alright, and we'll make sure this is Ziplocked up tight.
And this acidic mixture should cook the fish, therefore no heat will be needed to make this recipe.
Exactly, and this is why it's called a cold ceviche plate. Alright, so just zip that up tight. And we're going to mix this up really good so the ingredients soak into the codfish. Mix this up for a few minutes. This has to marinate in the fridge for about 2 hours before we can add our additional ingredients. So in the meantime, we'll be talking about the history of Peru and how the Spanish conquest influenced Peruvian cuisine. So we'll head over to the fridge and put this in for 2 hours. Okay. And we will head out and see Leah in a few minutes and have her explain to us the history of Peru and how the Spanish conquest influenced it with their ingredients from Europe. Thank you. Here we are outside where we're going to be talking to Leah about how the Spanish conquest influenced the Peruvian cuisine. Good morning, Leah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well this morning. Today we're hosting a show for our fans about how the Spanish conquest influenced the Peruvian dish today. And I was hoping you could tell me a little bit, and our fans, about how culture is influenced by cooking.
Absolutely. Culture is influenced by cooking and the region's supply, the historical roots, and through traditions.
Oh wow, okay. And about what time was the Spanish come into Peru and started conquering and changing their culture a bit?
Peru was conquered in the 1500s, and along with that, they brought in a lot of new ingredients that became part of what Peruvian cuisine is today.
Oh, wonderful. And did they also bring in livestock?
They brought in livestock, they brought in different fruits, vegetables, new grains, a lot of what is seen today.
Like spices and seasonings.
Spices, seasonings,
Okay.
a lot of stuff.
Okay, so just to sum it up, we've learned that culture is influenced by cooking through tradition, technology, history, and obviously by the Spanish. So Leah, how about if we go along and teach our fans a little bit more before we have to head back into the kitchen and take our fish out of the marinade?
Sounds good.
All right, awesome.
Over at the fire pit, before the Spaniards conquered Peru, they cooked food over a fire similar to this. Fish and quinoa and other foods were normally cooked over an open flame. And now let's walk over to the garden. Over in the garden, they often dug holes in the ground to preserve their food because it was a lot colder and it wouldn't go as rancid in the warmer climates. But these agricultural methods were inferior to the spiritual power of Goddess Pachamama and God Iapo. Pachamama was Mother Earth, and she supplied fertile lands for the crops to grow. And God Iapo, God of the skies, rained down on Pachamama's fertile land, and that's how they supported the growth of all of their crops.
So now that we've learned a little bit about the culture of Peru before the conquest and after the conquest, we'll head back into the kitchen and finish cooking our ceviche. Come on and follow me.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you learned a little bit about Peruvian history, and now we're going to finish up the recipe.
So we're going to head to the refrigerator and get our fish now. So this has been marinating for 2 hours. What we're going to do is we're going to pull it out of the bag and pour it into our strainer so the juice pours into the bowl, and we'll have the fish separate. Okay.
Once the fish is strained, we're going to put that into a separate Ziploc bag.
So we'll strain that out really well. We'll just swing this over a little bit. Okay. And we will no longer be using this juice, so we're able to take care of it. Sink.
We can just put this off to the side for now.
So next we're going to add some ingredients. We have 1 cup of shrimp here, which we will point out the ingredients that are indigenous to the Peruvian culture, and shrimp is one of them. Just like the cod, they used to catch it off the coast of Peru. Okay, so we'll add 1 cup of tomatoes. These are diced, which is also indigenous. We'll put those right in here.
And we have a mixture of chopped onions and chopped jalapenos, which were brought in from the Spanish.
Yep, so the jalapenos were indigenous to the Peruvian culture, but the onions were brought in from the Europeans, the Spanish from the conquest. Okay, so we have this mixture looking a bit like salsa right now. We also have a teaspoon of cilantro, which was brought in, which was from the Spanish. And also these next ingredients that we add will also be from the Spanish conquest, which include a tablespoon of vegetable oil and teaspoon of cumin and a teaspoon of white pepper. We'll also add some white vinegar to this as well. So just a little
splash.
A little splash. Yeah, wonderful. Put this all off to the side. Also, a little bit of splash of the lime and a little bit of splash.
A splash of lemon.
Alright, and if you can take a look at this right now, it looks a bit like salsa. We're going to go ahead and add this mixture to our fish. Also, we're going to zip this just up again and mix it all up. And this will refrigerate overnight for 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, so all the ingredients can mix together. But for the purposes of today's video, we have already prepared another mixture that we did yesterday, so it's been marinating for about 12 hours. So we'll go ahead and switch these out in the fridge. Okay, now we have our mixture that has been marinating for 12 hours. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to start plating it now. This is actually ready to eat. Like we had said before, the lemon juice and the lime juice had cooked it, so this meal is actually all ready to be tasted. What we'll do is we're going to pour it a little bit in here. Get our main pieces and grab a fork. And we are going to, oh wow, that looks beautiful. Plate it. And we have one more piece, little straggler here. Gonna plate this. And then we're just gonna relish it with some shrimp and the mixture. And we'll pour the rest on. So typically how it will look like, beautiful juice. So usually how this is done is that you grab a piece of lettuce or cabbage from the bottom and you stir it up and put some on. So we'll go ahead and taste that. And get a good glimpse of this, how it should look while it's presented. So my friend here doesn't eat fish, so I'm going to go ahead and test this for both of us. Oh wow, this looks delicious. Make sure I get some of that seafood in there. Very good. Very good. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure to teach you all about the Peruvian history, and we hope that you come back and watch us again as we explore more of the world history and how culture is influenced by cooking. Thank you.
Bye.
It'd be good to talk about how culture is involved in food. So, the historical roots are what they use now over at the fire pit before the
Isaac, come here.